this kind of place operates in. Anne and Bill are starting to get annoyed as they say they've had little interaction with the owners.
And they've kept completely out of the way.
His wife must be self-having the money because he hasn't been around either.
I definitely think Galia and Michael give the vibes of, like, they almost think they're above everyone else because of the type of place that they own. I honestly think they'd look down at some people like Anne and Bill who own like a £65 a night place. This is why I believe they're not that arsed about interacting with the other people. We're going to see later in this video how Galia does so much interaction that they actually are sick of her later on. I think Anne and Bill are struggling the most at this place because they're used to kind of, you know, just drinking most nights, having a good time, partying, so they decide to stuff the yoga and go back to the room and start drinking their vodka they bought earlier.
Yeah,
recommended
do it.
glass of water and vodka. I love that I just went for some back, done some yoga, and now I'm just going to get on it. Like, what a day. These remind me of my dad and granddad. Like, my dad and granddad still go out on a night out every single Saturday night to, like, all of the party places in Newcastle. These would get on well with them, I fear. One thing I do know is Galia will be fuming when she finds out about this. The show then progresses to the evening where all of the guests are sitting down and ready to try Galia's food for the first time. However, they're already annoyed because all they've been given so far is this some sort of cabbage soup, which I mean, we did expect because in the intro all we saw was like cabbage bits, so surely they've got to go somewhere, and Michael can see the guests aren't really having it, so he decides to bring some wine out to kind of loosen things up.
I'll tell you what, it's wonderful. By now we wouldn't have got half.
If I'd have known, we wouldn't have got pissed in the room. Right, wouldn't have had those shots earlier, those apple sours. It is hilarious how, like, if there's awkward tension in a group or, you know, people don't really know each other, as soon as you have a drink of alcohol, then, you know, it kind of loosens everything up and you can become best friends with people. I think that's why a lot of workplaces, like, have nights out when there's a lot of new people, because it kind of just instantly breaks the awkwardness of talking to new people. However, Galia isn't happy with how much alcohol's being consumed and stops everyone from going off the rails.
Ladies and gentlemen, we detox regularly.
Do you detox often? Love, have you seen it?
This one.
I don't even know what the word detox means, but
And there's such a thing as, you know, that ideal weight as well.
Galia then goes on to kind of preach at these people that they need to, you know, get their weight down to something near hers because, like, this is the healthy way to be. And again, it shows that Galia doesn't really understand that, you know, it's harder for other people to kind of lose weight than it is for someone like her. The guests end up kind of just ignoring her and just drinking more alcohol, talking, having a good time. And Galia eventually puts a stop to the night. Send you to bed. What am a child? We got me packed lunch for tomorrow, love. You got me uniform on. I'm gonna send you to bed. You can piss off. The night's young, love. I want to explore what East Sussex has to offer. Probably very little. No shade to people from East Sussex there. I don't even know where it is. I bet it's a very lovely place, better than West Sussex. Again, no shade to West Sussex. I don't even know where that is. Probably West Sussex. Anyway, now obviously they've drank a lot of alcohol there, so they're gonna wake up with a hangover. However, Galia says that everyone has to wake up at 7 AM and she actually rings a bell.
Oh, God.
Oh.
No, no.
Jeez.
Like a sound.
Well, I suppose that's what you pay for, isn't it?
Imagine being like so severely hungover and you hear that fucking bell. I would just be like, oh. I think I'd jump out the window. I would just have enough. I'd just be like, I just can't do this. Like, that is out of all of the things in the world, a big bell is what I don't want to see. Oh, here, you know, when I'm hungover, take that as you will. The guests then all go down for breakfast and they actually really love it, but after they're fed their food, they're forced to drink this sort of like carrot cleanser drink, and they despise it. Now, although the guests like certain aspects of the breakfast, you can see already that Galia is starting to get on their nerves.
She only wants to be with us. She's actually coming to the bar. I mean, she doesn't have a lot to say other than eat healthy or anything. There's no other conversation with her at all.
I feel like this is a personal preference thing, because if you're going to a B&B or a hotel, a lot of people just kind of want to be left alone and just kind of, you know, when they need something, someone helps them. But it seems like Anna,
she seems to be running a health farm, but maybe it's not right to call it that.
I guess it's different, you know, taking part in this competition, because you've got to be more involved anyway. But I prefer when, you know, you're kind of just left to your own devices in a way, and there's definitely a feuding like between Galia and Anne that will make it worse as the game progresses.
That's what she meant on the next PlayStation. Josh used to go to the kids, probably about teenagers, their CD players, we could have 5 just sit at the top and just rotate it around. That's what they do. What is it? What are we going to do? I don't mind making my beautiful kid.
The guests then all go back to their rooms and raid
Yeah,
Galia.
I get very comfortable playing this slightly playthrough.
There's like loads of questions they have to answer.
It's better than them
like,
bombing you. Just bombing the whole
all those aspects. There's also a final question they have to answer is, would you stay here again? And all of the guests, they know.
Oh, shit.
Biggest compliment you can give a place.
No, so I wouldn't treat it as in, would I go back to there as a B&B? Would I go back there to as a health farm? Like, do you think it's health? Yeah, that's what they're trying to sell, isn't it? You're not selling this B&B experience, it's only health farm experience. Like I said, maybe that's it too. I'll tell you that, dude. So I'd go back also for health farm, but I wouldn't go back also just to spend the weekend somewhere. Don't use that farm. How much they think the space is actually worth. It's going to be at the end how much each of the guests.
I've marked field charging stations near you. Cut their power and piss them off.
Big bad territory.
When it's revealed space to face.
Oh.
Indicating waypoints.
Give me access through your C-Link and I'll overheat the station.
They're on me!
That's very heavy, you know. Just kind of grind that down. Like, I don't
Got an aerial drone here. Field's trying to find your location. Shoot it down.
That was very like she took them off. Like, you know,
you convoy ahead. Let's teach them the meaning of rule.
Enemy grenade.
She said that somebody's got the pay for this. So, like, is this hard? Has Anne got the pay for this? Like, I don't really think this is like the healthiest way to kind of bring repeat purchases. Why would Anne do this? Is it like she doesn't get anything out of fields falling under their feet? Water in this situation is worth the payoff. Actually, maybe to keep invested yourself in the current juice cleanse. Not what they're up. Is it bad karma? Alright? One thing I really did love about the structure of this show is the owners actually put the rooms against to let them before they stay at the next B&Bs. So if they get a bad review, they're going to go to the next B&B, like raging and ready.
They used to get their they used to get their money up front as well when it first started, didn't they? And that didn't really work as well.
No, because it influenced them throughout the game, didn't it?
Yeah, because they particularly I've only got this, so fuck you.
You're approaching a guild command center. Clear it out and kill the commander.
That's really close.
Only Anne. She has this feud with Anne's body for some unknown reason.
Would you stay here again? No.
They don't provide that type of food this type of people would like.
These type of people, I love it.
Oh, bless her. Oh, God, I hope she gets loads of Christmas presents this year, bless her.
Oh, yes, no, yes, that's what I am.
The type of food that
It's a bit thirsty.
people would like. I guarantee Galia has watched
I couldn't give him what I was drinking, so it was just like...
times, like that's her combat show. Just a guy yelling at people that are overweight constantly, like that is her bed and breakfast, okay? Galia then says she's now fueled up to wreak havoc on the rest of the B&Bs later in this video. I feel like she's gonna unleash the devil. Moving on, the hosts for the next night is Jan and William, who I said earlier own a 5-star B&B. I have been looking forward to seeing their host tonight because they do seem to hate each other, and I just want to see how this plays out.
They'll probably find that truck out there.
Indicating waypoint.
Yeah, that's not flex. Like, Jan is laughing there, like, yeah, well, that's another reward on the books. You guys got kicked out of therapy. What is wrong with you? Are you okay? What did you say at those meetings where the therapist was like, yeah, I might be after for this unfortunate Conner, this one will be right on.
But yeah, it's actually charged with
£60 a night, which is around £90 cheaper than Galia and Michael's place. Which means they've probably got a better chance of like achieving a better percentage of value to money and winning this whole thing, but I wouldn't be sure just how they're talking to each other. Now speaking of Galia, she's currently on the way to this B&B and already she has got smoke coming off her.
Freshly baked croissants, maybe not. Pastries, maybe not. Maybe not. And water, yes, water please, yeah.
Will humans be there? Maybe not. Will Anne's body be attending? Maybe not. This woman is evil. She's also came alone as she said Michael is looking after the business. I have kind of read this and he doesn't want Michael there who can possibly, I don't want to say her in a place where you know, talk her down out of being harsh to everyone else. She's gone rogue now. Okay, like there's zero contact with the outside world. She's ready for war.
So far, the flowers need watering, I don't know.
Maybe so I can water them with Anne's tears. Anne and Bill also arrive at the B&B and they say they're pretty apprehensive of seeing Galia again after the review they left her.
I actually went longer than I needed to go to.
Oh, look, you straight in the bed now. You've got to stand on business now, Bill. You've made your bed, you've got to clean it. It's woken up the beast. You've prodded the dragon and now it's ready to unleash fury. Speaking to Poetic about this, we're literally just talking about people visiting each other's B&Bs. Chill out, Carl. Whilst everyone else is beefing, Max and Diane are bothered about something a bit less minor.
The boutique, bed and breakfast. I don't know why people start using this word boutique, and it doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest.
Such a minor thing to, knock them down about. In fact, they've called it boutique. They're just trying to make the place sound a little bit posher. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Once the guests then get shown to their rooms and are ready to find any little intricate detail, they can mark them down on initially.
Yeah, that's my side of it. See, anyway, let's introduce like some rules.
That's awfully rich, coming from the person that decors for people staying away from the Black Plague.
Oh, lovely. Here's
What? You pay 260 quid to stay at your hotel room, you don't put a TV in the room?
Seeking energy savings. Always keep your energy prices under the price cap with NetSurge. Satisfy those savings cravings with Beyond Net.
I think it shows me about 20 years ago before you had the phones on there. Before you had the internet on your phones.
Yes.
And you had TV shows and stuff on your phones. So yeah, not to have a TV in the room, I can see why they were pissed off with it.
Yeah, it's just be expected, isn't it? Even if it's a little square one on the top corner.
But no.
That's it.
have to say that to probably, what time is it? 6 or half
Yeah,
6?
because don't they normally do that where you're doing a lot of exercise like your day, just be knackered on you by the end of it. You have a bang, you go to sleep.
We don't have TVs and all because actually, the camera has like £10 and we just, can eat.
I think all B&B rooms are probably well rotted, aren't they, maybe?
Oh shit, yeah.
Maybe. Certain types of couples are in there.
What are you knocking that down?
I'm gonna have some fun.
Have a big meal.
Baby. There's someone else worried, there's someone else doing the heavy lifting, isn't it?
Indicating waypoint.
For me, no, you see, not for me.
For 5-star gold, there's slight marks on the wall that shouldn't be there. Yes, please, I've had a tiny little...
Oh shit, when you're 5-star, you have no fault contact Alexi Palezzi, whatever her name is.
What's business?
It's a good idea to have flowers in the room, but maybe not lilies, because they smell.
But she's, went to the next level of putting the flowers outside of the room. Of course, why not? Also, I love that she's, blocking someone else's door, not our own.
What the fuck is she doing?
Terrorism there from Galliard. Oh, is that not a real sort of piece? Oh, support that, or, not for me. Oh, that would be fine. Not for me. Now, Galliard, I think it's the concert from her.
Oh, what is it you call? You keep sitting. I wonder why you're sitting in the box.
Just be like, yeah, I love it, and then talk shit like just God, it's better. And I it wasn't hard, much of Jan enough would be in the guilty by, but if it's on a dollar right now, it's not great. I love customer service last by Jan to do it, just yeah, what the fuck. I know as soon as she shut that door, she was like, what the bell? Now it's kind of taking...
You can't read the other side because Mia's just in that right position.
Jan and William have actually organised for the guests to go to like an F1 track and race fast cars, which I actually think is like really sick. I don't really understand how it works with their B&B, but nevertheless, it's the first time I've seen Gary and they are actually happy. Okay, now we know why Michael hasn't been invited the rest of these days.
He's a goer.
Alright, don't give her, even though her action was like, oh my god, I love her here. At least she has a personality, she makes the episodes fun. Again, Michael catching some more strays there. I'm starting to think
Michael.
I'm looking after the business. It's not actually true.
She's softened up a bit, hasn't she?
Rally on marked cohorts.
I can tell Anne despises this woman. Like, giving her compliment is just, like, horrible for her. She has to say something nasty about her after. But Callie has the same to her, to be fair. Guests then go back to Jan and William's B&B and are preparing for a heavy night out in Norwich.
There's a guild checkpoint nearby. Clear it out.
There's a guild shipping container nearby. Get to it before they do.
That's literally that's it, bro. Oh, to be fair, is that like a Vivian Westwood necklace? I mean, I guess that is pretty expensive, but I doubt that everyone in Norwich is going to stop whatever they're doing and stare at you. People in Norwich have seen jewelry before you know that, Gallia, I imagine. Anyway, Jan and William, when they're out, take all of the guests to their favourite restaurant in Norwich, and they get into the conversation about how all the couples met and how they started their businesses together, and it makes
making them go hard for half the foot feed. I don't know how much ammunition I've got written like that. I have no idea what's going on. It's a mystery. I'm going to make it progress.
Will you? Blink twice, fella. They want to come and help you. Alright, we'll get you out, but he just looks miserable, like he never speaks. And whenever Chad looks to him for him to start the conversation, he just looks lifeless. You're going to see at breakfast in the morning how their relationship kind of gets exposed, all for being, a little bit brutal. Whilst this interview was taking place, simultaneously Anne is still chatting shite about Gallia. I don't want to hurt. It's just not my number. That's what it is. There's circles that Gallia probably exists in her own life where everyone kind of talks like this and everyone's, passion in life is being as healthy as possible and they all probably get on. but this just like, it's like two tectonic plates that are just crashing and not working. Okay, like Aaron really doesn't like that type of person, and you know, that is kind of a fair thing. They're just two totally contrasting people that are never going to be friends. Go then skips to all of the guests returning back to the B&B, and they all do some sort of complaint about it. The rooms have been given a turn downstairs. I mean, that is fair. That's always one thing that I worry about when I'm somewhere, or I'm just in a hotel somewhere, like... Dog, but you know, I can't really, you know, that's just one thing to do there. You know, you get it wrong on these I guess that is more like, you know, if you do struggle to get out the bar, but I don't think that's something you should mark them down for.
No, it is, because if you just grab onto the sheet of glass and you slip, then that's really, really bad, especially if you're a big bloke or something.
Yeah. Yes. It's not like you're living there, you're renting, aren't you? So it's like, it's just serious. You've got to take into account what you're doing when you do that kind of stuff.
Just think about everything. It's all just so simple, though.
Yeah. Just try and do
the
best.
Simple, but
it's just because they all try to do cheap, don't they? Or they just do that thing when they want to rent out their bed. They just do that a lot more than
what they're meant to have, and like things they could grab, like both those things that they picked up, it's just things you're just meant to have. It's not like faff or fluff or anything like, you know, out of the order bits. It's things you're just meant to have.
Yeah.
Like a guard rail to get out of the bath. It's having a walk-in shower, then yeah, you do need to guard rail to get out of the bath.
If she got a bit extraordinary, to expect to be able to say, get out of your bathroom. One out of your bathroom.
Isn't it? Got like a windowsill or something.
When you look at this, right, you're like, oh my god, that is the finest specimen of a man.
Yeah, just having to grab hold of the sheet of glass to get in and out.
I've marked some guild charging stations nearby. Cut the power and piss them off.
They got burnt to death. That's quite funny. You was burnt to death.
You can tell they have a really,
you don't have things like that. See, I bet
relationship.
you they didn't have a fucking dog where you said that. You watched how to pull himself out.
Table was such a nice man.
She isn't trying to be nasty, but she does just, you know, it's that nature. I just don't play it.
Terrible way to
He went down there so fast as well, didn't he? Like before then. You know, when he was just wasn't very well, was he?
However,
He just looked sideways a couple of times. He just looked away with his veils. And she said to me, it's a bit like, and she was tweeting like, this, you know, because she's old, isn't she, a different generation. And she's got the ring for that. No, she said last week she wouldn't do that. And she's kind of like tweeting to her dog and going like, you know, and she's a bit, gets confused and stuff.
Like, even if you were
I'm really frustrated with it. I think we started to him passing away for only about 6 months.
Yes.
He seems to be just really weak. He used to driving. And they used to put their car down there.
William, please, just shut up.
Whistling in his own house? Like what? Oh yeah, that's a rule on the board. No whistling.
I was just saying, because there was always like couples together, weren't they? Just really sad.
Like it's complete silence here.
He had to stop driving. This wasn't his legs went first. It wasn't his marbles went first, it was his legs.
Apologising for something quietly, like he just hold it to himself while he's doing it, or he helps him, you know, kind of keep on the phone with him, or just help him.
He was, I know he had mobility issues.
Yeah, the type because he's just not allowed to have any personality. He works 24 hours in this place, there's nothing like outside of it. But I'm not looking like completely aware of what's going on. I'm just like looking at like follow tapes. You know what I mean? Follow eyes.
Yeah.
And then seeing outside.
Not very well. Now
He wants to make his word where she was. And then that was stopped where she was having to beat all the burglars. And he wasn't saying anything. occasionally, very occasionally, he'd say like goodbye or something like that, or put his hand up when he was by the door. But for now, so for them going to because they went to Bournemouth away and they
something here. They're trying to show you despite Jan not doing obviously he's still it's really productive and he all he does is just work. When Jan goes to do the orders for the guests, it's like a scene from The Office.
Absolutely no problem at all, Case.
Oh yeah, don't worry, Galia, you know, it's something on the menu just for you. Look, thanks for that. I appreciate that. The creativity. It's amazing, really. I'll get started something radius. That's why I'm going to review all of the guests and say that they actually love them.
Oh no, there's no club back here. What's this?
If you don't express with your lips what you're saying.
They can't make it out, yeah.
Awful when William made it. However, the guests are wondering where William is because they haven't seen him all morning, and Jan kind of just laughs it off. So if you haven't already, please do consider pressing a like on this. Apparently it helps us out, and yeah, I would appreciate it. It takes a couple of seconds. Thank you very much.
They came like into the room, like let themselves into the room. But she still didn't know them to go inside the room.
He would put the police information on it.
He hasn't had a single second to even say hello to people, and you know, this is obviously because he's just 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And when they compliment the food and compliment what he's done, Jan kind of just dismisses it and be like, oh, you know, he's actually not that good. He's like Cinderella. He's stuck in this place for an eternity. Despite all of the guests saying that breakfast was amazing, Jan is still not satisfied.
I think it looks like that breakfast like and I can't believe that day or day run out like a man.
Jan struggles with, it's like never being good enough, and she like projects that on other people. Like, it's a great trait to have that you're always like, you know, trying to reach for the next level, and that's probably why they have like a 5-star successful Airbnb. She wouldn't be able to get to that level if it wasn't for this trait. However, it's also a really negative thing because you don't show anyone in your life any appreciation because, you know, nothing's good enough for you. Like, you projecting that onto William is just going to make him miserable as a bacon. Already is miserable because he clearly doesn't share that same trait. He's just happy to spend time with his wife. I am sick.
Yeah. Car and finance from 2007 to 2024, you can be owed compensation due to unfair practices. Many finance agreements likely included undisclosed commissions, which is now being challenged for being potentially unfair. You don't need to remember who the lender was. It only takes a minute to find your previous agreements. Check if you have owed finance agreements now.
Put that off and 6 quarter past 8 and I'll be like, can we just see the burgers?
With the burger. We're on a good time.
You know, like, she sees you upset, and she's kind of feels sad about it. He doesn't really combat it, and then he apologises, and then she's happy. And just, this guy is just kind of a slip there, and I don't get to the say, you know, he really looks at, he wants to be there. Oh, he just doesn't see that. It's not that time where the guests like to rate their stay and their experience here. You know, it's a lot more positive. Like Dahlia's night, and Bill actually did this place again, and everything. There is some specific things that's what the couples pick up on that is very tricky, such as they don't like the artwork, the fact that William wasn't there.
Yes.
And they didn't like it. Actually said that a table in the room wasn't to their liking, they like the placement of it, which I just think so to complain about. You put the table next to the wall, not really. I'm going to want me help for that. How would it got the activity out to this? How would it go to the rocket? You can't keep the line with that one. Despite these little things, every single couple it would stay here again. And then they decide how much they actually think this place is worth, which we're going to see again at the end of this episode. Bearing in mind, if they didn't really like it, they can also go back there, which obviously helps. You know, see fucking for money come into play. It'll be interesting to see if they have got a higher off than Galia. Now, obviously, Jan and William reacted to all of their reviews. They kind of seem upset about a lot of it.
And how expect to send it down to customers.
It's
placed already, whereas all the other places, you know, anyone could really stay out. Now again, this is interesting because Bill's saying that she didn't actually say anything to you, so I wonder if, like, Anna's just insecure about it, that the fact this is even being brought up in conversation is just triggering that in a way. I do think Galia knows this, which is why she does constantly bring it up. But even Diane is now piping up now. I told you, Diane is rising from the shackles, from the shadows. It's like,
what happens if Alex Sierra wins at the White House? What happens? Have you ever thought about it? So, are we safe to say that Alex Sierra is not going to return to 205 pounds? Yes. I feel confident in that. With a victory or with a loss, right? You just got to go one of two ways. I don't believe that we're going to see him go back to 205. I don't think even in defeat is he going to tip his hat and say, this was a bad idea, and down to 205 pounds I go. So let's say that he wins. Just to look at it from that perspective, there's only, realistically, what would you predict? 3, 4, 5? Ooh, that's a lot. 4 matches in his entire career. He's 38 years old, achieved everything. He's setting after one of the rarest goals that anybody would even be put in an opportunity to obtain, which is champ status. That's got a little asterisk. The only one that's willing to anoint him triple champ status with an interim belt is me. So I get that I need to come off that. I get that that's a battle that I'm not going to win. But that's okay, because we're just guessing what happens if he wins. So then we could guess that he's going to fight for the undisputed belt. We would guess that that is going to be against Tom. I haven't heard from Tom in any capacity. What should I make of that? Tom's advisor, public news manager, has come out and said, I advise Tom to not fight in the UFC under the contract that you have. So I guess that would leave an option that Tom would get a new contract, but that would be very, very difficult to believe it's going to happen. So if Pierre is to be surreal, can we trust that Pierre would draw into Tom? And Tom is also out. That I agree, it hasn't been perfectly clear when he comes back. So what if he doesn't? Do we elevate Pierre to undisputed champion? Yes. In some period of time, yes, that is what we do. But at that point, would he then achieve champ status with no asterisk? Even though he hadn't done in there, fought for it and or defended it, he would have it via press release. Would that count? I think so. Yes, I think that would count. There's a number of ways to become world champion, and press release when you're the interim champion and being elevated to undisputed has historically been one of those ways. But who would he fight? And we could always have the fantasy of John Jones. We could always have that fantasy. Pierre winning at the White House would preserve that fantasy. Surreal Gone winning at the White House would just be another nail in the coffin of the retirement of John Jones. Like, there's not a scenario that John is going to come back and it not be for a belt. And there's not a scenario that John is going to fight Surreal Gone for a belt. And there's not a lot of absolutes you have in this sport. Like, anything's possible, except that. John Jones versus Surreal Gone for a heavyweight championship is not going to happen. So, what do you do if Pierre wins? I imagine you draw him right into Tom. But there's a reason that Tom's not here now. So whatever that reason is, whether it's the eye or a contract dispute, the insertion of Eddie Hearn, assuming that all of those things are still going to be there tomorrow, is it a safe bet? Is it a safe bet to say it's going to be Piera versus Aspinall? If so, when? I'll take a loose guess. When? October, November, December? Will it be this year? If it's not this year, it would seem likely that we would activate the undisputed interim, right, escalation clause. It would seem.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just get Pierre in there with Aspinall, of which does preserve the idea of a return of John Jones. They would both be
we asked for the same John Jones when John Jones was gone.
Maybe somebody else slides up. Maybe Josh Hockett or Tyrell Fortune has their name out there by some. What's up with these rumors of Gable Steveson? Can you insert Gable Steveson under contract if Gable Steveson is attached to John Jones? Like, you can't have them both. If they're both saying we're teammates and we're friends and we would never fight one another, it would be irresponsible for us to sign them both to the same division. If the absolute guarantee or only thing that you're assured is the best are going to fight the best, and those are two pretty good guys, it would be irresponsible to sign both of them. But is that likely? Is that possible? Gable Steveson, even on a great run, is he likely to chase down number one and get a world title fight before John Jones gets those one or two matches and his expiration date is up and he leaves? But still, where does Alex Pierre go with a victory at the White House? It's smart. It's a fun conversation because it's a new way to
Make yourselves at home, but don't get too comfortable.
I feel like my hangover has a hangover. Where I come from, that means piss off.
Bonus points. Double points. It's rare to find such spirited prey. Most of my quarry don't got much chase left in them.
Are we seriously just here for that bogan shits and giggles?
Folk will call you a lot of things over the years. Deserter, zealot, scourge, sovereign, purify, and flame. It don't matter none. But if you need a label, you go ahead and call me Warden.
It's worth watching once a week. It's good. Maybe it's
My driving privileges were permanently revoked.
Stay useful, and I won't turn you into a bomb.
Oh, sorry? It's 20 minutes.
It's once it looks like Benji's medicine. I'll have to go down and I'll feed him. And then.
Hang on.
So Mike goes for the same move, and this has now gone from a high school.
Mind your step out.
Did I leave the bong down there? Sorry. Did I leave the bong down there? Sorry, Becky. Put to the bed. See, now everyone gets a little bit of time out. Thomas Northern, loving life.
Swinny is back down there, thank Christ.
Oh, yeah. You just panicked.
I just had a feeling he was going to be downstairs at that bloody door.
Well, it's because they're taking away his balls. So, like, he doesn't have that killer instinct, does it? As soon as they back down, he just seems to be fine. You know what I mean? He seems to be okay.
It's just so bullshit in their face. Look at him. That's innocence. Not. He's a terrorist.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him. He's a terrorist.
When he had his balls. Jesus, that was scary. I think the funniest one was
Teen interview with Bob Lazar was a massive moment. It was non-political, it was about alien technology and government secrecy, and this one guy's unverifiable story that had captivated people for 3 decades. And Rogan's curiosity was so raw and so sincere back then. It was before the massive Spotify deals that changed everything, before the political endorsements, the pandemic, everything that turned his brain into a full-time cult.
Cult of Rogan. You don't know what you're saying. You're saying, you're saying, Claire. The thing is, I don't get how a UFO expert can expose Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan is the king of UFOs.
Ultra War Blender. And that episode is different now in hindsight because it came out in June 2019, just months before everything changed. COVID was around the corner.
Oh God, it's still wearing a Breaking Bad
t-shirt. Negotiated behind the scenes. It really was the last gasp of old Rogan. The guy who asked questions because he wanted to know the answers, not because he wanted a launching pad for his own dogshit takes. If you're a Patreon member, you'll know I recently covered the biggest moments in podcast fringe history, and without sharing too much, the Spotify deal was right up there as one of the defining inflection points in Rogan's trajectory. It's when the show stopped being a curiosity-driven conversation and started becoming a platform with an agenda. Whether that agenda was conscious or not is a different discussion, but the shift was undeniable. And when you go back and listen to how Rogan sounded in 2019 versus how he sounds now, it's actually quite jarring.
When did things get weird? When did you realize? Like, at what point in time did you say, hey, this is not normal work? Like, this doesn't even seem like it's from this planet.
It was in the demonstration of the reactor working where it caught my
attention. Do
you want me to make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
So, I mean,
it's never invested. It's never manifested in technology.
What was it?
And then they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to go back to." So yeah, but they say the same thing for microchips, is that aliens caused the advancement of microchips.
Technologically.
Well, it was the. I actually have to back up because there were some briefings
that
I read before
that.
So when you were reading that, before you
actually discovered on Roswell, I was molded by bungus.
What were your thoughts on what they were describing? If you knew that something like that didn't exist, and they're describing the briefing.
Yes. See, Joe Rogan's ahead of him. Yes, see. There you go. See, Joe Rogan. I said, what did you think he was going to see? Given the briefing you were given. So I mean, it's just asking him, because it's this.
Well, not to see if I'm crazy.
I think Joe Rogan's realised this thing doesn't exist, doesn't it? This matter, the super attack is cleared now, isn't it? So, and there's nothing not saying directly that because they wouldn't be, but I don't recall it, but auxiliary or something like that, an offshoot of where the research has gone.
Your whole paradigm, the whole world you live in, is now a different place.
Well, this is the only time it became exciting. You know, the rest of the time it was really an ominous feeling being at work. But at that time, it was exciting.
You can hear it in his voice. Rogan's pulling information out of Lazar. He's leaning in, following the thread and asking the next logical question based on what he just heard. As the little guy himself would say,
he was locked in. That's a guy who spent hours thinking about this story before he sat down to talk.
He couldn't the scientist and all kinds. I think he must have got a good reaction once or twice to that.
No, he keeps doing it.
Yeah. It's funny sometimes. That's the worst thing I can't say to lot. Sometimes when he says it, it catches me off because he says it in the right space. We'll give me his due. Yeah.
He was also a lot sharper and more
I would feel that'd be one of those diminishing return things where his other one is the scientist Joe Rogan. It's like, no, it's because Joe Rogan says you don't need to be a scientist to read X report. Because that's who it's aimed at. It's aimed at the non-scientists. Every step up, you need and more education to understand what they're saying. Eventually, they can just get down to the compounds, maybe like the chemicals. And someone reading those chemicals and how they, other chemicals before would understand what they're saying. You need that dumbed down essentially, and he understands he does not need to be a scientist to go read the dumbest version that's out there. The big press releases, you do not need to be a scientist to understand. That's what is meant to happen before that. And as long as you're reading a cross section of shit, you should be okay, generally, shouldn't you? As long as you're not fit to the left, right, yes, onto data.
Where they say, like, I don't know, but like, this happens, but then there might be really unique
yes, a perfect storm.
It's something. Oh,
yes.
It's the end of them.
This place don't
That's why you don't trust one data set, isn't it? Yeah.
But you need to be that well educated to really understand it.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to know, well, not well educated, so you just have to have a good knowledge, like, those kind of things, like chemistry and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't being able to,
all those kind of things, you're better than you can.
Yeah.
All those kind of sciences, you have to be able to.
They haven't to like understand the basics.
Yeah, if you just, I think you have to know it all, but you can get like a, you know,
the other one is going to tell you the fuck I am.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then you can probably make this a very educated guess on
what's going on.
Yeah.
But you don't. It's one of those things, isn't it?
It's rare to find such.
You're reading, say what's in the Washington Post or the Guardian.
Don't got much chase
don't
left
need to have gone to university to understand what they're saying because
they will have
broke it down.
They
Yeah.
know these things. They know these things.
Yes.
Then they will read it. They will understand all the little nuances to it, and then hopefully
Yes.
will say that's good.
That's where Joe Rogan is really good, isn't he? Because like on the one hand, he was just been asking like he has done this guy. But there's some people criticise him for it sometimes, other times that's really weird, isn't it? I think Joe Rogan UFOs is kind of like a kid in a candy store, isn't he? You can't tell him the best candy. He's gonna know it. He'll be like, so trust me on this, it's fine. Or the moon landings, he knows all the arguments he's had the time with the bloody to build his hobby, hasn't he? And that was his early start, wasn't it? All those conspiracy theories. And I think by him getting close to Trump, he got to see all these files and realise there's no great conspiracy. Shit just happens.
Zealot, scourge, sovereign,
The
purified,
amount of
flame.
times that every country tries to be attacked by insurgents.
You go ahead and call
One
me.
of them or two of them banks succeed at some point. Oh yes, that's why we're not really having an epic government. But we've had an epic government since the World War II. That no government, whether they be Tory or whether they be Labour, have been anything other than left wing. Now, I think about how Louis talks about the modern right wing. Modern right wing are very aggressive, very ultra-nationalistic, very uber bad things about who you can get. So, imagine those people, their land was being attacked, children being killed, all the rest of it, these ultra-nationalistic people by another nationality. And both sets of the public, right, left, well, all sets of the public are calling out for justice. But they still say no. You wouldn't describe that as the modern understanding, the child understanding, where concepts of left and right, where left is inherently good, right is inherently bad, because right you just exterminate anybody who's doing that off the face of that, like punch through the guard, and worry about the justification later. Right. See, that we've had a left wing government since World War II, you ready?
Yeah.
The IRA.
Right.
And their campaign. And the fact that their campaign was only ended not by British government action, but by the war on terror that was led by America that was saying you support the super to any terrorists who are fucking ended.
Yeah.
Whether it's IRA and because it's Afghanistan, they'll have the same thing that Britain will be expected to be involved or they will be the enemy. Created shit in the pants moment so big and it made Britain let all the terrorists go. And this isn't like people away science, this is people that's held in the maze.
This is people that killed people.
Yeah, 100% did it. Yeah.
People said that they did it. They said, I did it.
That's what I mean, there you go. Yes, they were proud of it. Yeah, no setting up, they were very proud of what they'd done. And that's, they're freedom fighters in their ideology, and that's their business. What I mean is, it's like one of those, we created that thing, so if it hadn't been for that, we'd still be dealing with the IRA over Muslim terrorists, and it's baffling how people forget how bad the damage they were doing was, if you know what I mean. So you never heard.
Like, if they are still bombing us, and they're like,
watch out for your glory, babies.
Oh, no, they're not helping the Muslims. No, I mean, they already are. They have been since the late 70s. Because I had to have a place to run. And because Britain's got deep embedment in Middle East, it creates enemies of. I think Islam and that branch of the Irish religion, the Irish separatists who didn't like Catholicism or anything like that, they've had deep ties to the Islam branch for hundreds of years. So no. They resisted. That's why they don't like Northern Ireland to separate themselves in there. It means cutting off their landmass. They're so sickened by the idea of Christianity they will cut off that chunk. And some of the Irish Catholics, because they're fighting, but they're also in that chunk. Whereas the Irish who support the Islamists are not in that chunk. And that's the differentiator.
Oh, what did you just withdraw then?
I don't know, to be fair. This is the weird thing. I have no fucking idea. It's a long, complex history of my understanding of the Irish involvement with Islam is it's the enemy by enemy kind of shit. And because the Crusades were led by the English, so I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong, but if you've been associated with people for hundreds of years, helping each other out, at least in the 80s it was well known they were hiding out in the Afghan terrorist camps, training the Afghan terrorists how to combat the English. Because you've got to remember, for the Irish, it's nothing but gain because it's their enemy. So by them teaching the Afghanis who were being taught to the British orders, to the American orders, to AAA movies, radio stations, things like that, the Afghan people were good and so that their 3% of bad are fucking bad. And that's a lot. You suddenly forgot that for some reason. But then there is a room with all this access to news. When you look at the place where people argue, they literally only argue their side. And it seems to be demonstrated good side doing anything relatively bad. But then just he's winning the argument. It's weird, if you know what I mean. But just watching it happen in real time, it's bizarre. And it happens across all formats, doesn't it? The Manosphere did prove that when it humiliated Piers Morgan. That killed the whole movement against the Manosphere. So by Piers Morgan, being about that kid. Because the kid showed rationality. He's like, look, if you want to talk if you want to. But if you've not, I'll keep responding. Not lovely, but you're afraid of a big black man here, and your wife says, I want a black man to use me like a toy. She's very racist.
She said that exact thing.
Yeah, she dehumanised him to a sex toy.
Yeah.
That's it. And I know it's funny, don't get me wrong, I can see the funny side of it. But if all things being equal, and we're judging it in the court of the left, where they're going about things, no, that's negative. You can't reduce people to objects because they're colour and things like that. You can't find why human when it benefits you and not when it doesn't. She said that as a thing, didn't she?
She said that his wife, not, his wife.
He's married. He realises that his hold on his wife is up golden, isn't it? Unless you can watch another 16, that guy can let his wife be used on camera and got paid for it. got paid for it, so it makes it okay for you. You're a millionaire, yeah. So you got paid $1 billion. Well, no, you get paid $1 million. No, so what the fuck are you talking about? You're a millionaire, like a multi-millionaire. Why are you?
500 big ones.
It really bought a cash in. It's all backfired on him, hasn't it? Because like he's been beaten up by the guy who banged his wife in a boxing match. He didn't even last 30 seconds. He ducked him covered and ran.
Is he actually doing this for some kind of sexual kink or something?
Oh yeah, because he's dirty, because he shagged a 16-year-old. Which I know doesn't sound bad over here, but it's America. And it should be bad over here. So if you're an adult, you should be banging 16-year-olds. Yes, it's legal, but that doesn't mean you take the car out for the ride straight away. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think it's like when I was 16, I feel like one of the big girls.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a big girl up in that. You're not one of the big grown up. You don't realise who you are, and when you look at them, you're like, oh god, they're really like.
They really are children still. Yes, not in their world. They may be an adult in their world. So other 16-year-olds, they may be the same. Yeah.
Big girl clothes and everything.
But they're not.
Yeah, because like cigarettes, having a little bit of cider. Well, like big girl people, but they're not.
And that's the thing. Well, that's the modifier, isn't it? You're a big girl in your world of 16 to 17 to 18, not a big girl in the adult world.
When you're an adult and then you see how young they look, and then you think, some people fuck with the boots.
Oh, yeah. How the fuck are you pretending you've stopped the age? Go on now. How are you pretending?
So what do you think you have to common with her then?
Yeah.
16-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl.
What do you go from this 30-year-old watching Blue's Clues? And you're like, well, we had a shared interest in penises. What? Yeah. That's how you know apprentices is the best of bringing Genesis into any conversation with apprentices.
Yeah, I'm walking all these dogs.
Oh, I'm actually very good show.
Right.
Right.
It's how she reads out the favours what they find. That ain't a good thing if you're
squirmish, yeah.
Yeah, and they are a lot of the time. You can see they just want to ground it because it's a new level of humiliation. They haven't just been taught like meeting a young girl. That's part of this is like the next level of humiliation. You see this as well the other day, it was so funny. Will you show me your tits? And what did you say then? Go on, tell them what you said then. And you just like, and she just breathed it out. He was saying something really like, and it's how she puts like a little tint on her voice as well. Where she's
wouldn't try to unlock the knockoff for me, would you?
Not in a, she doesn't do it in a way to like make you entertained. It's just the way of her.
Just her mannerisms, it's just her manner.
How shocked she is at what he's saying.
Yeah.
So like her voice will do these things.
Yeah, because what they're suggesting is terrible shit.
Every time. Box hates me. Not that I care. Okay, I do care.
You have a girlfriend. You live together and somehow got told that I had to do with it. I think that's one I showed you the other day, and it seems like you've been sending photos of you going to business while at work. So can I get to do it? And I said to you, do you know what he does for the job? I said, chef.
Oh, could you imagine touching your food afterwards?
I don't know what he's getting. It's like sexually stimulated all these Sunday nights.
I don't remember ordering the clam sauce. No. Don't be jerking it while you're chefing. Come on, man. The fact that you had to put that into your training is insane. No, this is going to shock you, but don't jerk it when you see a customer in France. Try not to jerk your penis, boys. So, we've been jerking at work. That's the weird thing. It'd be really bizarre if you heard what you think. It's more degenerate to think about a woman jerking at work than it is a man. That's saying something. I've got one of these about equality of judgment, like, I don't know, women and men are not that different. But I gotta be honest, I don't really hear stories about women jerking at work.
saying let's go, but
maybe take more time. We dedicate to that like fiction. Yeah, we'll take you up to dinner.
they just want to wait till they get home or something.
Could you imagine that, ladies? We'll do a survey. When you see a hot-male customer, do you a finger bag at the sea? Do you save that fan fiction by introducing interactions in the service period? Right there you go. Oh, baby, give me a chance to take it. And it's just like... Hang on, are you a lefty now using the very right-wing argument? Like, this was the right argument. So it's not about like the size of them, it's the fact they can deliver it and wipe out 100 people, that should be enough for you. Then I use that back. How crazy is that? That's just like... What the fuck, bro? Oh, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Dude, you can't have them work. It's as simple as that. Because while you're building that car, you can be building a stable household and living with your wife and loving life. And there's someone else worrying about the shit and building a car. It's ridiculous enough like that. I did the fact on Joe Rogan asking those questions means you haven't done it. I don't mean that in a mean way. He's done well. He's on Joe Rogan. What I mean is he himself is not really specialised in everything on being shocking. Whereas that alternative history guy with how things are falling down and where water has been, he's kind of educated now, isn't he? And he's got other people educated that's going to agree with him, hasn't he? So yes, some people do genuinely interpret it that way. You can't be seen that way. You can't prove either way true. So you can keep your mind open, isn't it? Because as I said, the line about shipwreck so far earlier to try and show he was lying about where the ships were. Oh, we've only found so many. And even though it's true throughout most of the stuff that came through now, cancel out. That fact, the amount of ships and all this was just. It wouldn't be so bad if you hadn't made such a big deal of it. If you hadn't made such a focal point of it. We only found 2 ships, that proves everything. Well, there actually been 65 ships. Right. Netflix.